definitely saw his life flash before his eyes. Unfortunately for teammate got involved in that one.
Cameron is 9th in points right now. Move up 1 spot, I would say he's got an A. Move up 2 spots, he's got a really good starting spot in this A.
Your voice just ran out of gas, Caleb.
It's been sporadically doing that, and I don't know why.
I mean, I kind of have an idea. It's like 40-some hours of broadcasting, and you've been in this booth the entire time.
The good news for us is the Tub Boys brought us some refreshments.
They did. We
keep us hydrated down here.
Nice catching up with Trey Robb.
Ibrox Springs
And
instant
learning.
replay. Ooh.
Because we saw,
Quentin Benson almost looked like it locked up.
we saw Peter Smith kind of try to slam the door hard on Cameron with not a ton of room to go without just crashing Peter. And Brian Ward, he's down there. You got an update for us?
Yeah, the tie rod coming off the steering rack is disconnected on the 49. No control over the steering there. And just now checking out your 21L. The front end is locked up. The left front is not rolling at all. Just dragging here. Leaving mark on the racing surface. I don't know if the brake's locked up on it. Right side rolling smooth.
Yeah, pretty interesting. And Clinton, as far as like left front brakes are concerned, pretty popular decision to have those on your race car.
Yeah, I'd say 100% of them in the building have it here, and that's especially when we got tight race cars on a fast racetrack like this. That left front brake is super crucial.
So watch what this does. With drivers lining up as they are,
That should put Cameron Key front row outside.
you would think. Garrett Benson, Cameron Key, Jet Barnes going to go down, and Shelby Hinton going to go up.
To get a little nostalgic here, guys, I've seen Nathan Benson, Garrett's dad, and Cameron absolutely go tooth and nail at Sweet Springs, Missouri when Cameron was just a youngster and Nathan was the veteran. You almost full circle here where Cameron's kind of the veteran and Garrett's the youngster. Let's see who gets the better of who. And
once he was the apprentice, now he is the master.
That inside 2 rows, I mean, the amount of talent and the non-existent amount of age between those two.
We'll try it again. Garrett Benson and now Cameron Key, front row, and we'll try it once more. Into turn number 1. Benson up and over the berm, keeps his foot in it. Here comes Craig Ronk, though, wasting no time getting by Shelby Hinton.
So give it to Benson. Key 2. Here comes Ronk, taking Jet Barnes to school. Craig Ronk's making points early on in this qualifier. Barnes got to get in line and not move now. As Ronk 7-3.
Barnes up on the berm once again. It's going to bring in Shelby Hinton, and here comes that Joby Miller machine. But up front, Garrett Benson still holding serve over Cameron Key and Craig Ronk. Your top 3 starting to separate themselves here as we complete 3 or 4 laps.
Top 2 actually look to be adding a little bit of space between themselves and Ronk, and just like that, Ronk made a monster entrance into corner number 3 and made up a little bit of ground on Cameron. I say a little bit of ground, it's not a bunch. You get a look from 4th on back in Barnes, Hinton, and Miller. Miller closing rapidly on Hinton. Hinton knows he's there. Hinton going down, trying to make sure Barnes knows he's around.
Barnes' car is extremely tight. We talked about the left front brake being important. We see him get to the corner and work on the brake pedal really hard right there. Try to rotate the car. The more this track goes away, the better Jet Barnes is going to be, and he can't afford to go backwards at all.
Barnes and Hinton's brake rotors absolutely glowing. You can tell how hard they're working behind the wheel as it's 2 laps to go for leader Garrett Benson. Cameron Key still in 2nd, Craig Ronk still in 3rd. Barnes and then Hinton, but here comes Joby Miller looking for 5th. White flag is out.
Garrett Benson the final time through 3 and 4. How about this youngster? His dad never quite got the driller. Garrett's on his way to have an attempt Saturday night.
He's got 100 points in pocket here. He needed to win this. We've seen some of the drivers get that heat win or get that qualifier win and sneak their way up and through.
Yeah.
3-2 for Cameron Key is going to be a big help. Could have been a little bit better, but still positive. Jet Barnes 4-4 doesn't put himself in a bad spot, but at the same time, definitely not what he could have done, and Craig Ronk helps himself the most by going 7-3.
Everyone kind of just did what they had to do there. There was no big movers and shakers, at least inside the top 5. But is that enough? We will only know after 7 more qualifiers.
Certainly wasn't enough in stock non-wing and outlaw non-wing. Those points were absolutely insane as qualifier number 2. Caleb getting set to exit the ramp.
Jake Galusha and Cody Key make up the front row. Matthew Howard and Chance Crum on row number 2. Harley Hall and Preston Latimus in the 3rd row. J-Mac, Jason McDougall, Johnny Smith in the 4th row. Carson Perkins, Kevin Bayer, Jalen Mills and Chase Porter, Jason Friesen, and Xavier Doney. The 14 cars in this lineup. Was Crum in his maiden voyage in the CB Industries entry, coming from deep in the field and holding that top point scorer spot until Jet Barnes showed up and absolutely decimated a group.
How about Matt Howard there inside row number 2? We've documented their eventful week beginning on Tuesday. Saw brother Nick enter the building, so he's back to help Matt in one of their last efforts here in this Outlaw Wing division.
Jake Galusha is really fast, but if Cody Key gets a good start from the outside, I have seen that car be one of the fastest, if not the fastest car in California over the late season. We'll see if Cody can make that happen as that deal came together this year. Cody was almost done racing outside of what the family could afford to do for him. Really capitalizing on the opportunity. Let's see if he can get a good start. Sure can. To the bottom, Galusha, some trouble. He's getting backwards as he got sandwiched. So early on, lap 1, Key up to the lead, and we got a car around. That's Galusha. To a stop, caution out. Fired it back up and crossed the line, but that couldn't have been a worse first lap for Jake Galusha, who got sandwiched, was heading backwards, then had problems in 4, and the caution comes out.
The guy that didn't want to see that caution was your guy, Chance Crum. Had a heck of a start, picked the right lines at the right time, and was up to 2nd. Something about those Chadboat Industry cars just take off so well. Chad puts in all the homework, knows all the details of every race car, and they find their way to the front, that's for sure.
Got to remember, Chance has been very good in this building before as well, in a micro, as he's sat on the front row of Outlaw features.
And look what Jace Park did as well. He's already locked into 2 of them, and one of them going 13th to, what was that, 3rd, to go from 102nd points to top 10. Incredible.
Biggest winner in this is Matt Howard, who now has the pole for this start. That's already 3-1 for him. Question is, can he take advantage of it? Howard on the inside, Key looking for a similarly good start on the outside. The game's going on in turn number 3. Howard, no sir.
Wow, Cody Key picked his pocket on that one. Yellow lights are on, and we're going to run that one back.
And I wonder if they're not going to give Holland a shot at starting in the front row. If so, Harley Holland gets the golden ticket. Now 5-1 with no completed laps.
McDougall's praying for a Harley Holland jump here.
At that point, you don't think you'd shuffle the row and put Crum up
you got to do something.
Down?
Yeah, I don't know. But Cody Key can't afford to play games here.
This one looks good. Key, however, can't quite get that same launch as Crum going to go right through the middle. Can Key get him out? They do squeeze Crum backwards. Key gets up into the marbles, though. Howard's going to get the position. There goes Jason McDougall to the bottom.
McDougall said it feels like 2018 all over again. He's driving with the confidence he had that night. Looking to move up into the 3rd position.
Working up on the high groove and coming forward. That's a 570 of Johnny Smith, who started 8th. Smith looking high side for 4th. Now with a run on Crum for 3rd. Crum slides up racetrack, trying to hold the position. He knows he's got to go 4-3 and maybe 4-2. McDougall has got a 7-2 run going. Now make it 7-3 as Crum gets underneath, and McDougall gets moved out of the line and loses 3 spots.
Yeah, Smith has been excellent at going from outside to inside. Was able to use that move underneath Jason McDougall, but immediately goes back to the top. But it's been his bread and butter so far in this one. And Smith isn't done going after Crum here, coming to 4 laps to go.
Make it 8-4 on Smith. My apologies. Crum 4-3 as he's trying to track down Howard, and your leader, Harley Holland, who's got 5-1 in his pocket at the moment, at a long distance between himself and Howard. McDougal to the infield. Hard break for J-Mac. Back in the field. Cars duking it out. That's beyond the 5th and 6th position. As we're down to 3 to go, make it 2 to go. So you're watching Perkins in the 35. There's your leader, Harley Holland. 1 left. Harley Holland.
Your battle for 4th is 3rd and 4th is on right now. Crum is on the low side trying to make it happen as Harley Holland wins. It's going to be Smith at the line around Chance Crum. That last lap was an absolute flyer.
So Smith then goes 8-3. Crum 4-4. Can't capitalize. Matt Howard 3-2. But the story is Harley Holland 5-1, and Jason McDougal had something better happening before braking and heading to the infield. Up top to Connor Wade with our interview.
Thank you so much. Garrett Benson, the winner of qualifier number 1. Garrett, you did what you had to do, started on the pole and got the win, and we'll have to see how everything shakes out before we know if you made it in. But how do you feel you stacked up against a class that's loaded with talent?
I feel pretty good. The car was really good. I knew I had to get a good start there, but not jump it and beat him down into 1 with that rework they did on the track. But car was good. Thank you to everyone who helps me out, and this is a dream come true to have a chance to be in the A main.
Your dad just came over and you guys were talking. You were giving him some feedback. Can you tell us maybe what feedback you were giving him?
Just the handling of the car. The car was a little tight down the straightaway, but a little free through the corners, so we need to tweak on that, but we'll definitely get better.
Garrett Benson has such a bright future in this sport and a huge opportunity to get a Tulsa Shootout driller in Winged Outlaw.
We've worked our way to qualifier number 3. Water truck already making an appearance out on the racetrack down on the low groove, as here's your starting lineup for this one. Braden Chiaramonte has earned the pole for this qualifier. Caleb Pence is next to him. Zach Weigel and TJ Smith make up row number 2. Smith the 3rd highest point scorer coming into this. Jace Park and Nathan Rector. Frank Flood versus Shane Stewart in row number 4. There's one that the Oklahoma crowd can get behind. Bryant Dawson and Dayson Persley in row 5. Robbie Smith next to Aaron Jessina in row number 6. And the final row is Brant Woods and Logan Julian, our 13th and 14th starters.
Yeah, Connor talked to Talon Turner yesterday about his injury, unfortunately, and while he recovers, tabbing a guy like Shane Stewart to drive his cars. And Shane, obviously a busy guy running Port City, and just announced this week a partnership with Trackhouse to put on the High Limit show at Lakeside this year. And
which you'll see live here on FloRacing.
Exactly, and it's going to be phenomenal. So lots of things happening in the Shane Stewart camp, but found some time to come out and play and go back to his roots, and did a heck of a job so far this year here at the Shootout.
This is a gigantic opportunity for TJ Smith, as both of your top point scorers coming in, Barnes and Crum, the 2 guys ahead of him, only go 4-4. So a 4-3 run helps. 4-2 run, you would assume, might get him leapfrogged, and 4-1, you're looking at your potential pole sitter.
Absolutely, and he knows that too. All those drivers back there on the staging area watching us on Flow, on the phones, dissecting where people are at. Now you got to perform.
This is also a good opportunity for Frank Flood. Flood has been fast in his non-wing car. His wing outlaw car, we only saw it for the heat race, a good enough run to put him starting 7th in this qualifier. Frank, it has been a hot minute since he has got a golden driller, and the Winged Outlaw is the one he wants more than anything else. Been up at the front of the field a couple of times recently. No drillers to show for it.
No, motor issues have plagued that camp. So is this the weekend? We'll find out how he can fare out here in the qualifier. Up front, Braden Chiaramonte leading him to green with Caleb Pence. And that was a big-time jump by Caleb Pence. He backs her down, and caution lights are out.
These guys are only hurting themselves at the games.
That was the most impressive thing I heard about Garrett Benson's interview was, I can't jump the start. He knew if you jump to start, it's done. Game over.
And it just bit Pence, and look who gets the benefit.
Yeah, and
TJ Smith.
he came in 14 points out of the lead after heat races, so not a huge gap between him and the high point guys.
Needs to get to 4-2 to eclipse them by my math.
Yep.
And 4-1, like we said, Harley Holland's now had a pretty monster run from where he was.
Being outside of the invert, he was already pretty far.
At the same time,
I can tell you.
At the same time, nobody else has gone from deep better than to third. So
Harley Holland was 32 points behind after heat races. So the math is going to be tight. We got a lot of qualifying left to do here.
I'll tell you what. Right now, TJ Smith has 4-2 in his pocket. Yep. He's looking for 4-1. Guy he races against often, Brayton Chiaramonte on the inside. This start looking better. Green flag. That one's going to stick. And Smith quickly down to the bottom to take the lead.
TJ nailed the start as we look a little bit further back in the field. It's Jace Park trying to make something happen on Caleb Pitts.
The top just parted like the Red Sea, and that's Shane Stewart taking advantage. Very few guys understand, like a sprint car driver, when the lane's there, you take it.
Jason Persley following him up top around both CB Industry cars. Now Persley's going to try to thread the needle through the middle. Jace Park on the bottom, Shane Stewart up top. Persley in the middle, backs out of it, goes top shelf in that 10J chassis, and is going to continue the fight. But what a battle here, fourth on back. Now make it third on back.
Pence is third, Stewart is fourth, Stewart now third. Persley trying to follow him up around, and Park, seeing that the high side's coming in, will make the adjustment and go to the top groove himself.
Can Shane Stewart lead the train on the high side for the first time since we started Winged Outlaw qualifiers? He's looking for second with 5 laps to go.
He's gone 8th to 2nd now as Shane Stewart, a guy with an impressive resume, looking to put himself in a position for a high-in-the-field start in the Winged Outlaws. Persley follows to third. High groove. Really where it's at for these drivers, carving through the field. Chiaramonte washes up off the bottom. Sparks up the tie brake. Still uses the low side. Trying to hold off Park with just 3 laps remaining. Park.
Jason Persley with a great run also from deep in the field following Shane Stewart. Those two guys killing it with points. There's 2 laps to go.
Persley started 10th on this field, so that's a 10-3 move for Dayson. Flood now looking to pick off the 86 of Weigel here in the late stages. The white flag is out. That is 1 to go for TJ Smith. 4-1, your prospective high point. TJ Smith in the Winged Outlaw. Shane Stewart 8-2. Dayson Persley 10-3 as we have a show in qualifier 3.
TJ Smith with an absolute burner after a gift, but you still have to take advantage of it on your provisional pole so far. And with that, we will throw it up top to a guy we haven't heard much from, Harley Holland with Connor Wade.
Yeah, it's been a while since I interviewed my friend Harley Holland, but Harley, 5-1 just from guys jumping the start. You'll take that, right?
Oh, yeah. In this building, if you can get a little bit of luck, you for sure take it because it's gone the other way so many times, right?
Yeah, you were telling me you feel like after just working the track, even 2 races in, already starting to develop pretty nicely.
Yeah, it was. It's a great track. Better for us, obviously. It's going to get slick again for these guys, but it was a good track for us.
Harley Holland ran 2nd in Winged Outlaw back in 2008, one of several top 10s in the Winged Outlaw division. We'll see what he can do. We're going to let you go, Harley. Thank you so much. Let's get Johnny Smith in here. Johnny, an 8-3 run, man. What had that car working and moving fast up through the field like you were?
You know, we were just really trying to pass cars, and we knew we had to pass cars. And after that rework, I knew that the bottom was really going to be locked down, so I knew I had to try something. And I sent it in on the first restart, and I felt that it stuck. And we went on that second restart, and everybody was trying to hug the bottom, so I stayed committed to the top, and we were able to pick off, and we were just really good.
Great effort there for Johnny Smith. He has an 8-3 run in qualifier number 2.
Thank you, Connor. Some impressive performances already as you see the Water Wagon making a couple trips around the Expo Raceway. What a shot from our Bell Helmet speed shot. Crowd filing in for the remainder of the Friday night program. You could tell the energy is here in the building. Why don't we go downstairs to the infield? Brian Ward, what do you have for us?
Yeah, guys, just wanted to let you know I saw Gravel walking this racetrack whenever all the cars pulled off the track, went up the ramp. He looked down at the bottom. He was doing the feet test, seeing how sticky it was, how much moisture there was. He went up to the top. He was picking pieces up, and then he pointed to the war wagon, and he said, run the top, run the bottom. I want water on both sides of the racetrack, so they're making the passes there. He is paying meticulous attention to how this track evolves throughout the night. We're looking forward to a fantastic racing surface come tomorrow evening.
Absolutely.
Good observation, Brian.
Yeah.
Clinton, you're our surface analyst of the guys that we got here. Quickly with the water truck getting out there, did you see it getting cleaned off real fast?
Yeah, it starts to clean off in a hurry. We put so many laps down around that bottom side that just a little bit of mist here isn't going to be necessarily a performance advantage. Maybe if anything, it'll slow it down and just dirty it up a little bit. So you might have some extra grip down there for a lap or two, but I look for that top side to really come back in, especially with these guys that have the big motors.
We're going to read the lineup real quick, and I'm going to follow up on that as we've got qualifier number 4 out on the racetrack.
Ashton Torgerson on the pole, Jet Hayes on the outside, Jackson Bishop and Noah Gass inside and outside row 2, Brent Cruz, see what he can do in that 11X inside row number 3. Then it's Colby Sokol, Dylan Cadis, Jet Yantis, Lane Burnett, Justice Sokol, Cody Breckenmeyer, Colton Hardy, and your final row of Cooper Sullivan and Hunter Pruitt.
Okay, so back to track prep and track conditions. Do you think at this point in time, with what we have 13 races left in the evening, the idea is just keep the rubber out of it so we've got an easier night of work ahead of us?
Yeah, I think if you can get through these next 5, so we're looking at 5 Winged Outlaw qualifiers. Then you go to
8 Winged A class.
Yep, 8 Winged A classes. And if you do a little bit of prep right before then, I don't think it's a big deal. We're not on a time crunch by any means. So, whatever we got to do to give these guys a really, really good track, I think we'll do. And, that may be watering after every race, a little bit here, a little bit there to keep the track in good condition.
Which would be par for the course for Tulsa shootouts of year past, when it would be race, water, almost consistently throughout the day. They've done such a bang-up job with this year that last track prep was really the only long one that we have had during the course of this. And even then, it was only about 30, 40 minutes long. So the lights go out. It's qualifier 4 time, the halfway mark of our qualifiers for the Winged Outlaw. And your pole sitter, Ashton Torgerson, with Jet Hayes next to him, a couple of the young guns looking to make some big, loud noises.
Torgerson on the pole. We'll see how this start goes. It's been tricky so far. So far, so good, and we're underway. And the Rowdy Energy sponsor number 02 leads him into turns 1 and 2, and down the backstretch. Outside is Hayes, and we've got some trouble back, and that's Brent Cruz. So Cruz in that 10J chassis, and also that 39N is dropping backwards. 39H of Colton Hardy. Caution flag is out.
It wasn't just Cruz. It was Noah Gass, who's your top point scorer coming into this, who had just slid out of the picture when we picked up on Cruz. Another car stopped in the infield, the 77 of Cooper Sullivan. Sullivan fires back off, and he'll get going. He started 13th, but there was problems all over the place, and a complete restart is not going to be the enemy of many of these cars, as I know Gass and Cruz would like a fresh take at that opening lap.
Things have just not gone Colton Hardy's way here in these qualifiers. Was locked in all 4 qualifiers, but struggled to find his way forward in a few of these.
Guy has been one of the speed demons of Wing 360 racing in Arizona over the past, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years now, and has branched out to have some success in other areas, now working closely with the guys in the Speed Lab.
Yep.
Which a big thank you to them again for their Victory Fuel, which has kept us nice and refreshed and is available up the Speed Lab trailer. 1 for $3 or 2 for $5, and to our knowledge, the only place you can get it, at least as of this very moment.
Yep, for now. So if you're here inside the Expo building, you're exclusive.
I like it.
It's good advertisement, right? Make people feel special.
Absolutely.
Well, it works good by itself. It works good as a mixer.
Yep.
And it's just plain delicious.
All right, lights are out. We'll try it again. Again, this kind of saved Noah Gass after the issues on the start. We'll see what happens this time out as the lights are out. Ashton Torgerson and Jet Hayes, your front row. Jackson Bishop right there as well, as we're back underway. Qualifier number 4. And you see that's Yantis on the top side trying to make some hay on the back portion of the field. Brent Cruz up and over the berm, making a position there. He takes over third. And Yantis is there behind Bishop. Those two cars on the top side of the racetrack. That's fourth. As Bishop now look at Noah Gas in the middle, caught in the slick, and around goes Gas. Collected there is Cooper Sullivan, and the caution flag waves in a torn-up race car for Noah Gas.
I think Gas was actually having a problem before that started, as that car looked just a hair off the pace, and I don't know if he had gotten in the middle and spun the tires real bad, if there was an actual engine laying down a little bit, but he looked visually a little slower than the other guys around him before getting around, having the nose wing torn off and more.
We see our guy Brian down there. Brian, whenever you're ready, take us through what you see.
Yeah, the right front of this front axle has a big bend in it. He's got some caster going in, got some toe in, but everything is still connected. It's just all bent, so he's going to try and stay out here, see if he can last a little bit longer, if he can get it fired. Trying to get it fired. That is Sullivan in the 77. The torsion arm still over the axle, or the torsion bar, excuse me, so everything is still functioning, just bent, and we got a lot more damage as they bring the hook to the front of Gas here. Almost has a frame sitting down on the ground here. He's got the rack and pinion style steering on it. Got some bends in those bars. Nose wing obviously ripped off. They got some work to do on the 20G.
So Gas, you figure, head to a B-main, might be buried in one as well at this point. That was kind of funny, as Sullivan signaling to the official that he needed to get knocked into or out of gear, and the official goes down with his foot and just gives a boot to the shift arm mechanism on it. You know, the stock shift arm mechanisms on some of these motors are janky at best. They're not great. And companies, maybe like ours, have built a nicer shift arm that makes getting into and out of gear necessary. Maybe Mr. Sullivan needs to call us on Monday morning. We can help him out getting a nicer shifter so they won't have to, you know, Karate Kid kick the thing to get it in and out of gear.
Caution lights are out. Jet Yantis moving up several positions. Started, I believe, in the 8th spot. Now scored inside the top 5.
Shameless plug. I'm sorry. Bill me later.
You're allowed.
Thank you.
Brent Cruz, quite a difference between the two starts. From last to now third.
Ooh, and Hayes not quite on top of that restart, but is able to hold on to second. Cruz immediately jumps to the top side where he likes to run. As you look at Sokol battling Bishop, top side goes Yantis. So two 10J pink and black cars with white up on top side of the racetrack. There's Cruz going after Hayes. That's for second. Brent Cruz, who started inside row number 3, is looking for second.
Battling between a couple of 11 cars. Jet Hayes, eyes on the prize, not worried about defending 2, was worried about taking first. As he drives around Torgerson, and Cruz then drives around them.
Yeah, thank you very much. You two can go ahead and play. I'll go run away, and that's what Brent Cruz did. So Torgerson's trying to reload. Hayes fell back to 3rd. Yantis now up to 4th after pulling away from Jackson Bishop.
Yantis started 8th. Another position will do him a ton of good. As back in the field, the battle between the 25 and the 24. Colby Sokol shifts back. That's Justice Sokol taking the position away from him.
Hayes fighting back to the inside. Battle for second. It continues. Torgerson now on the top. Hayes on the bottom. Here comes Yantis trying to join the party for second.
The longer those two cars race each other, the better it is for Yantis. With 3 to go, he's just looking for a lane. It looks like he's faster. Gotta find a place to get up and around. 2 to go. Second and third side by side.
Hayes lost a little bit of ground off of 2, even as Torgerson. And Yantis now setting his sights on this battle. Brent Cruz is gone. White flag is out. Inside move goes Torgerson. Snookers underneath Jet Hayes, but around the top goes Yantis. 8th now to 3rd for Jet Yantis as the checkered flag waves for Brent Cruz. Yantis around Torgerson, and he takes home 3rd. Second. So that was a second. So 10J 1-2 with a heroic effort for Jet Yantis,
who goes 8th to second. That's a big point move as well. Cruz 5-1 puts himself in a nice spot.
I bet Torgerson and Hayes are tired of seeing pink and white 10J cars drive around the outside of them while they battle. Meanwhile, Connor, you're up top.
TJ Smith picks up a bid qualifier win in qualifier number 3. One of 2 interviews we got for you from that race. TJ, second qualifier win of the day. Your cars are looking really, really strong. Are you confident in your ability for tomorrow night?
Yeah, man, we just got to keep up the hard work. My guys have been busting their butt, and, you know, we've had a lot of luck go our way today, but we've put in a lot of hours and preparation, so I just got to keep pushing, and hopefully we can get it done.
Like I said earlier, you've had chances to win drillers before, haven't come through. How do you make sure this is the year TJ Smith comes through for a driller?
Man, I don't know. I just hope that we can keep up this luck that we have on our side, and the preparation's gone full tilt, so if we can continue down the path we're going, I think we have a really good shot.
This guy's been so much fun to watch this week. Thank you, TJ. Best of luck. Let's bring in Shane Stewart. Not bad for a retired sprint car driver that owns a racetrack now. Hey, what have you guys done that's made you get so comfortable in this race car throughout the week, like you were in that qualifier, going 10th to 2nd?
Eric and Talon just giving me good stuff. Matt obviously is well tuned on how to make these things go around the racetrack. But so it's my oldest daughter's birthday, so I have to say happy birthday to Nixon. And I have to also say how proud I am of all of our young guys that race at Port all the time, how well they're doing here this weekend. It just really proud of what Port City can do and help improve these young drivers. But thanks for the opportunity. I'm actually having a lot more fun than I thought I was going to have, and we got a great group of guys that's pitting with us, and see what we can do tomorrow. I got an A-class race I got coming up, so we'll see what we can do on that race as well.
All right, to action quickly in qualifier number 5. Josh Castro, Steven Snyder Jr., Blake Hahn, and Emerson Axum. The 4 cars within the points invert quickly. Snyder ducked to the bottom groove, trying to get underneath Castro. Back straight away. Nick of contact between them at the line on lap number 1. Get it to Castro. Snyder battling away with him on the low groove. Castro continuing to hold the top spot. Snyder hunting for position as Axum up in 3rd. Hahn drifting back in the 4th spot. Good side-by-side battle. Castro had it at the line. Snyder slid up off the bottom of 2. Looked to break the momentum. He's going to try to do it again off of 4. Castro there to counter. Snyder had the lead at the line. Slider again, short style from Snyder looking for Castro. Castro playing good defense. Axum poking his nose in. 6 laps. Make it 4 laps down and 6 laps to go here in qualifier 5.
And they're still throwing bombs. Castro back to the bottom as we go on board the DMI drone. Emerson Axum from the parking lot. 2 for 1. Battle for the lead is a 3-car showdown, and Axum is going to run away, sliding himself in turns 1 and 2. And see you later, Emerson Axum.
Emerson Axum, hungrier than a hobo on a ham sandwich, coming for the lead, and he's got it. As Snyder now down on the low side. Blake Hahn showing speed, driving up and around Snyder for the spot.
Yeah, Blake Hahn, oh my goodness.
Yeah, Emerson brought his 10J teammate with him. Both of those guys sailing around the outside. Absolutely massive moves from both of them. Steven Snyder doesn't even know what just hit him.
Emerson Axum, a winged outlaw winner several years ago, his first shootout win of his career, and flexing his muscle in this qualifier here with a demonstration of a wily veteran. But don't look now, 2nd place Blake Hahn starting to slowly reel him in, but it's going to be too little too late, white flag.
There's a reason Blake Hahn has more golden drillers than anybody, trying to catch his teammate. But the guy who's put himself in position for a 2nd driller is Axum in the winged outlaws. On to Snyder 3, Castro 4. 4-1 for Emerson Axum. As he's going to be right there with TJ Smith, you figure.
That was one of the best slide jobs I think I've seen of the week, wouldn't you say,
Yeah,
Clint?
he was so patient for 3 or 4 laps there, waiting for the perfect time to fire one off, and when he did, boy, he was gone.
From the parking lot.
Literally.
Connor Wade, you're up top with Brent Cruz.
We've got Brent Cruz, winner of qualifier number 4, and Brent drove away with that one over a 2.5 the advantage. What about that 11 car is working so good for you right now?
Yeah, I think we have a great race car. I just want to thank the Gordons for letting me in this seat. 10J and Adams Performance, man, that's a combo in this wing car. We're going to be a car to beat, and I think it's going to be a great race.
You ran 3rd in non-winged outlaw, I believe it was maybe last year, a couple years back, but going to be your first start in winged outlaw. Is that an accomplishing feeling to start that A-main?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is luck, obviously, and then speed comes into a factor, and I think this is the best race car I've ever had in this building, and I think it's really showing right now. I think we've had great speed all weekend, and I think it's going to turn over to the 55 laps.
Looking forward to seeing what Brent Cruz does tomorrow night.
Thank you, Connor. Yeah, the young man with a ton of talent as we watch the iBox Springs replay. And possible issue back here.
Taking a look at the very end.
It's like
1E of Eric Braunmeyer, who started 5th in that race. And that's the 20 car of Brecken Reese.
May have just been the wrong replay.
Yeah.
They had to make sure they got him on TV. We were so focused on what was going on out
It was
front.
good racing.
It's a really good chance for us to thank iBox Springs,
For
our
sure.
sponsor of the Instant Replay, taking over that this year. They are the name of the game when it comes to a spring, whether you need a coil for your midget, big spring for your stock car of some kind. I know.
I went and bought fresh iBox Springs for my midget for Chili Bowl.
Good man.
Yep.
Yep.
Talking about Brent Cruz, don't forget last year made his Chili Bowl debut, pole sitter on a